Drugs and Addiction, an Anarchist Perspective, Dickie Dredd. And we're on Chapter 1, The Drug War in the Mind still. This is part 10 of the video series. And it's section 8 in the book, Ritual and Relationship. Freedom, I discovered, doesn't mean abstinence. It means a right relationship. I still take drugs, I just don't need them anymore. The difference isn't chemical, it's spiritual, social and psychological. Addiction is a cage, ritual is a doorway. The same substance that once trapped me, with attention and intent, opened space instead of closing it. After I stopped using compulsively, I began rebuilding my relationship with substances themselves. I didn't reach for them out of panic or boredom anymore. I used them as tools to write, to think, to play, to listen. Cannabis became contemplative rather than compulsive. A line of speed turned a night of work into a focused ritual instead of a lost weekend. Psychedelics used sparingly and with preparation became mirrors rather than monsters. The chemistry stayed the same. What changed was the context. I wasn't medicating trauma anymore. I was exploring consciousness. Western culture finds that distinction almost impossible. Our laws are moral, not medicinal. They treat all use as abuse, all intoxication as weakness. Yet among indigenous and older traditions, substances were never about escape. They were conversations with the sacred. The Mazatec's psilocybin, the Shipino's ayahuasca, the Bawiti's iboga. Each sits inside ceremony, song, community and meaning, and we'll talk in depth about this in chapter 3. The plant isn't master or servant, it's a participant. Anthropologists like Michael Harner and Wade Davis have shown how these rituals create balance, not excess. The user is witnessed, guided, reintegrated, the opposition of isolation. We stripped that context out. We took the chemistry and threw away the ceremony. Communion became commodity. The late 90s, 80s rave scene, for all its chaos, tried to put the soul back in the mix. Sound systems became our shamans, strobes our stained glass. It was accidental spirituality, bodies remembering what ritual was once meant. In those fields and warehouses, many of us felt truly connected for the first time. We weren't escaping reality, we were building another version of it. That's why the police raids felt like sacrilege. They weren't protecting us, they were protecting the monopoly on meaning. Ritual matters because it turns repetition into reflection. Addiction repeats without awareness. Ritual repeats with purpose. When I take something now, I stop first, even if subconsciously I ask why. What am I seeking? What will I learn? That pauses everything. It turns compulsion into consent, even if the purpose is just to fall about the place laughing my tits off. Marte would call it mindfulness. I call it anarchism of the inner world, the practice of self-governance. No outside authority tells me what to feel. In that sense, conscious drug use becomes part of a wider ethics of autonomy. Anarchism doesn't demand abstinence, it demands awareness. Freedom isn't about refusing every influence, it's about choosing them consciously. Psychedelics and cannabis, handled with humility, can act as technologies of freedom. They teach impermanence, empathy, curiosity, oneness, all the things hierarchy tries to suppress. Used carelessly, they collapse back into escape. Difference again is relationship. Harry said that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it is connection. I'd take it further. Connection isn't just between people, it's between the parts of the self. Ritual use can reconnect body and mind, instinct and reason, the personal and the planetary. Done with care, it's a kind of rewilding, a restoration of inner ecology after years of industrial conditioning. Sometimes when I smoke a cannabis pipe or share a bottle with friends, I think of my mum. She drank alone, in silence and shame. I use openly, among equals. That's the difference between addiction and agency. Her ritual was secrecy, mine is honesty. If she'd been allowed that honesty, her story might have ended differently. Our culture still prefers management to meaning, silence to song. Ritual, at its best, reminds us that joy too can be medicine. This isn't romanticism. Drugs still carry risk, physical, psychological, and social. But risk isn't evil, it's the cost of being alive. We don't outlaw mountains because people fall off them. We learn how to climb. The same logic applies here. The goal isn't to erase danger, but to move through it skillfully. The shamanic rule still holds. Know the dose, know the setting, know yourself. Everything else is superstition. When people ask if I'm clean, I say no, I'm clear. Clarity isn't the absence of substance, it's the presence of choice. To use consciously is to meet the mystery on equal terms. Ritual use, in that sense, is both personal and political. It reclaims the right to navigate one's own consciousness and plants pleasure back where it belongs, in community, not commerce. It's not escape from reality, it's re-entry into it. And next up will be part 9 in chapter 1, which is the illusion of industry.